What's going on, guys? It's your boy DJ Skandalous, come back with some more hip-hop news and Tupac news. For this one, we're going to break down Tupac, the year 2020 year in review. Let's get it. Alright guys, so just like last year, we're going to break down the year 2020 year in review for Tupac regarding his music, unreleased music coming up on the internet, as well as more news regarding his life, different scenarios and events that he was involved in, as well as future Tupac movies and his docuseries that's coming out later this year in 2021. So regarding that docuseries, it's going to be a 5-part series due out later in 2021. The title has been released as The Outlaw, The Saga, The Shakurs. And this is going to follow Tupac's life, his musical career, his relationship with his mother, as well as his association with the Black Panther Party. Now, in case you guys didn't know, the director of this is Allen Hughes, the same director that did Brenda's Got a Baby music video, which was for Tupac's debut album, Tupac Now, and also the director of the acclaimed movie Menace to Society. Now, it's common knowledge that Tupac was actually cast in the movie Menace to Society, and he's the sole reason as why that movie even got the green light, because the companies that were actually funding the movie actually wanted Tupac in that movie, or else they were not going to release it. So Tupac was actually cast in that movie. However, he had a difference in opinion on the actual direction of his overall character. And this actually led to a squabble between Allen Hughes and Tupac Shakur. Now, it's widely known that Tupac and Spice One actually got into a confrontation with Allen Hughes and his twin brother, and it's also known that Allen Hughes actually sued Tupac due to this altercation that occurred. And Tupac was actually fired from this movie and replaced. It's not really known if Tupac actually filmed any scenes or they were just in the actual auditioning and writing process of this movie. However, since Allen Hughes actually did a HBO series, The Defiant Ones, on Dr. Dre, the Tupac estate actually loved what Allen Hughes did with the actual Tupac scenes that were actually in that series. So they actually approached him and got him to sign on for a 5-part series. However, due to their history, a lot of fans are actually skeptical and really pissed off about this. And for me, I feel like it's kind of strange that they're getting someone that had so much animosity, so much history, negative history with Tupac Shakur, actually sued him and fired him from a job. And now all of a sudden he's actually going to be directing this series on him. How could it be unbiased? You just don't really know. So we actually got the title of that released in 2020, as well as the cover art. And here it is. Also in 2020, we got producer Delray Richardson confirming that Tupac had sexual relations with Notorious B.I.G.'s wife, Faith Evans. As you guys know, Faith Evans has been debunking this for years. She actually has a book out where she says that Tupac was very aggressive with her and tried to force her to do things. And she states that she never had intercourse with Tupac. However, Delray Richardson claims otherwise. And here's a clip from the Art of Dialogue channel who actually did this interview with Delray.
So, the next time you met Tupac, give me the backstory on that. When did you meet Tupac again? When did you and Tupac run into each other again after that?
When we ran into each other again was on October 18th, 1995. And I'll never forget that night. This goes into all of the things that have been said in regards, or by Faith Evans, in regards to Tupac in her book, whether on vladtv, and all of the other interviews and things that she's done. Basically, it's a lie. And I'm going to give you that, and I'm going to give you that, and we're going to put this to rest right here and right now.
Also in 2020, MTV actually released a new video regarding the creation and making of the Tupac song California Love with Dr. Dre. Now in this video, it's more uncut scenes and unseen footage from the making of the video, as well as Tupac breaking down the actual song and his relationship with Dr. Dre. A lot of this footage has never seen the light of day. However, you can still see the MTV edited out parts. However, again, the majority of this footage that has never been released before is really great. Also in 2020, we got a new book associated with Tupac. It's by the mother of Gaddafi of the Outlaws, Yasmin Fula. She released a new book called Spirit of an Outlaw, and this has many unreleased photos of Tupac and Gaddafi growing up in the 1970s and 1980s. It has many great stories of their upbringing as well. And here's some brief photos of that actual book. Also in 2020, after the whole George Floyd situation, Tupac's Changes song was back on the charts, peaking at number 4 on the iTunes charts for best hip-hop songs in North America. Also, his greatest hits album from the year 1998 also peaked at number 7 in the top albums in North America. And this actually stemmed from Tupac's song Changes actually being a theme song, a pinnacle song, after all these riots were going on with the George Floyd situation. Also around this time, Tekashi 69 actually dissed Tupac. And during this interview with New York Times writer Joe Coscarelli, Tekashi 69 says that Tupac Shakur was convicted of rape. Is Tupac Shakur loved or hated? Loved. What's the difference between me and Tupac Shakur? I never caught a rape charge ever. When Joe asked if his art was contributing to the world, 6ix9ine replied, of course, then proceeded to play Tupac's Troublesome 96. Tekashi went on to say this is one of his biggest songs. What's the difference between that and Billy? A born leader, never leave the crib without my heater. You're telling me he gave back through his art? You're lying to me. I got defeated what in 2020? It's relevant. There's no difference between me and Tupac Shakur. Now, me, like I said in my video that I made of this is very one-sided because Tupac Shakur was never convicted of rape. He was actually convicted of sexual abuse. And there's actually no evidence found of Tupac actually even having any sexual intercourse with this woman at all. And the lady that claimed that she was raped by Tupac Shakur never testified against him. He just basically got the rap for being in concert with some guys, which is what he said in various interviews. And to me, that whole situation was just Tekashi 6ix9ine throwing Tupac out there for no reason, basically clout chasing, because there was no reason for him to bring up Tupac Shakur at all. And like I said in my video, Troublesome 96 is not one of Tupac's most well-known songs. It's a great song. It's one of my favorite tracks. However, there are so many other great tracks that is more universally known, like Changes, Ghetto Gospel, Thug's Mansion, Brenda's Got a Baby, Dear Mama, California Love, Life Goes On. Songs like Billy do not compare to that. In 2020, we also got So Many Tears video uploaded to Tupac official channel, and this is the best quality we actually had it in quite a while. They also released music videos to How Long Will They Mourn Me and Shit Don't Stop in better quality, as well as remasters for many other Tupac songs such as Dear Mama and Ghetto Gospel. We also had news of a new Tupac movie coming out later in 2021 or 2022 regarding Tupac staying alive after being shot in 96 and actually fleeing to New Mexico. And this movie is actually called Tupac The Great Escape and is directed by Rick Boss. And Rick Boss went on to say this movie is about Tupac actually escaping the University Medical Center here in Vegas and relocating to New Mexico and getting protection from the Navajo tribe. I also made a video on this you can find on my channel breaking down the whole movie and my thoughts on it as to why I feel like this movie is completely fabricated and bullshit and it's just a way for people to milk Tupac and make money on his name. Because there's actually no proof at all that Tupac actually left Las Vegas after getting shot and made his way to New Mexico. Now, regarding all these live theories, singer Keisha Cole, and also sister of Tupac collaborator Nutso that appeared on many songs like Ghetto Star, she actually did an interview with Fat Joe on the Fat Joe Show, and she says that Tupac was actually planning to leave Death Row Records and start his own record label with Quincy Jones. And here's a clip of that here.
Yeah, I actually did know him, and he wanted to sign me to Quincy when he was with Kadada, Quincy Jones' daughter, and he was gonna leave Death Row and go to sign with Quincy, and he wanted me to go over there because he said that Death Row is not the place for kids. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was saying. So, but just unfortunately, on our way to Vegas when we went that time, he got shot.
Now, my video I break down as to why I feel like this is complete bullshit because in the last 2 days of Tupac's life, he was actually recording songs, Hell for a Hustler, All Out, as well as Let's Get It On from Mike Tyson. And all those songs in the intro and outro, Tupac is saying Death Row Records, the untouchable Death Row Records, all over the tracks. And Tupac actually has a song called As the World Turns. And in the unreleased outro that you don't hear on the album, but you can find online, Tupac actually says Machiavelli Records, Death Row gave birth to a new seed, Machiavelli Records. So that right there just shows that Tupac was actually going to have his own sub-label under Death Row called Machiavelli Records. However, there's no indication at all if Tupac was leaving or not. So I feel like this is bullshit. However, there's a good chance that Tupac would have worked with Quincy Jones on another project or another record label while having his own record label still under Death Row. Because why would someone still shout out Death Row all over his tracks the day before he got shot? That makes no sense. Also, speaking of the Fat Joe Show, Busta Rhymes actually was on the Fat Joe Show too, where he actually talked about Tupac's beef with the Tribe Called Quest. And here's a brief clip of that as well.
During this time frame, had to go to New York because he was performing at this particular Source Awards. So this is when we was all performing off of DAT tapes, crack. So, you know, once the motherfucking engineer press play on your DAT tape, it ain't like you could stop that shit and play.
No, you got to go.
You got to go, right? So Tribe was Tribe was doing their acceptance speech for Best Group of the Year. They had won the award for that year at the Source. And Tupac was supposed to be the next performance after their acceptance speech was complete and Pac got introduced, right? So somehow the production person, the stage production manager, wasn't paying attention to what was really happening. And the motherfucker ended up pressing play in the middle of the Tribe acceptance speech. So Pac just comes out there performing all over their speech like he was shitting on their speech. You feel me? So that wasn't Pac's fault, but it looked like a flagrant Pac disrespect.
It looked like some Pac shit.
Right. It looked like a flagrant Pac disrespect.
Pac 101.
Right. So, you know, and at the time, because Pac, you know, had this little rep of being a little bit of a loose cannon, it looked like, all right, here he go again, right?
Busta Rhymes also talked about the time that Tupac choked out a sound guy, a sound man, during his early days around the Digital Underground era.
We only on our first album, right? And we had to do sound check. So we get to the sound check a little bit late. Digital had already did their sound check. And we get there a little late. Digital broke out. I think Pac and Money B was still in the neighborhood. I don't know where Money B was exactly, but Pac wasn't there by himself. You know what I'm saying? So we getting ready to do the sound check. The sound man was on some bullshit because I guess we took too long, so it was time. He felt like, fuck that, I'm not sticking around to do this sound check, right? So he's shutting shit down and he acting like he getting ready to leave. And we kind of like on some, damn, we really want to get this sound check done. And the crazy shit is, Pac, he kind of saw that there was a little bit of friction going on. And he just came and involved himself in the situation. And Pac turned to this white man and he was just like, yo, I need you to cut this motherfucking soundboard on. Leaders of the new school gonna get their sound check done right now. Fuck you talking about? You ain't turning on the equipment. And he just started spazzing on dude. And you know, the man wasn't trying to hear what Pac was talking about. So he acting like he breaking the fuck out. So Pac just ran up on this motherfucker and started choking him. You motherfucker, you fucking. So we had to grab Pac because we like, Pac, we not asking for all of this, bro. Chill, my nigga. Like, we just want to sound check. This ain't war, bro.
Also in 2020, Nas actually talks about his confrontation with Tupac in New York City, in Central Park, right after the MTV Video Music Awards.
But, you know, he was in New York and there was a lot of tension flaring, right? And nobody was really there. You know, their chest was out, they was doing their thing, Death Row signed, so we had to go and step to them.
And was there a real conversation between you two that quelled it?
Oh yeah. We had a great convo, man. He was like, you know, he explained that he thought I was dissing him, and he thought, and not on the song The Message. You know what I'm saying? He thought I was dissing him, and I heard that he was dissing me at clubs. And
straight out of the gate, he thought the fake thugs, no love, right? The first line of The Message? Wow, I never even knew that was a thing.
Wow.
Last person I was even thinking about when I wrote that record, just right, I was just going. You know what I'm saying? It was just going at everybody. I was like, well, I heard you was coming at me. I said, no, that wasn't about you, but I heard you was coming at me, and, you know, back and forth. And it was like, yo, Nas, we brothers, man. We're not supposed to go through this. And I was like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, so we had a plan to squash it in Vegas. So I was out there when he was in the hospital and praying for him to come through. But, you know, rest in peace to Pac.
Also, Nas claims that Tupac actually copied his QB chain for his euthanasia medallion that we all see in the Toss It Up music video that was released shortly after Tupac's passing. Also, Tupac wore this at the MTV Video Music Awards, which was the same time that Tupac actually met up with Nas in Central Park. And this was a chain that Tupac only had for several days. I believe he actually got it on September 4th, 1996. Also in 2020, Eminem actually broke down why he thinks Tupac is the greatest songwriter of all time. And here's a brief clip of that here.
Whenever he was like, I don't know how he just always knew the right words to say on the right chords. And it was almost like if he wanted to make this statement. I remember when he said, my broken down TV show cartoons in my living room. Hey, on Unconditional Love, a song he had. I was like, oh my God, he could have said that on the bar before it and it wouldn't have meant as much. But he said it right here where the chord got sad and the, you know, like I studied that so much and was like, oh my God, he was so genius at like doing that. It was like, he never said the wrong thing on the wrong chord. Listen to Dear Mama. Every single thing, every single thought, every single word, every bar was like so in place where it should be. Just because of, he was so smart about picking his beats and just, you know, like Tupac always said, feel me. And you have to feel him and not just hear him.
Also, we have Nelly honoring Tupac with his own rendition of California Love on the show Dancing for the Stars earlier in 2020.
Soon as I step on the scene, I'm hearing hoochie screaming, fiending for money and alcohol. The life of a west side player with cowards dying, we all ball.
Alright guys, so if you made it this far, I know there's a lot more news regarding Tupac stories. However, we're going to get into breaking down actually the Tupac songs that actually leaked out on the internet in the year 2020. Because every year is like Christmas for us Tupac fans, because new songs, new clips, new versions are always leaking every single year. So in 2020, we got clips of Nothing to Lose radio version, which is the unreleased alternate recording with clean lyrics that was never released before, wasn't even used on Tupac's Are You Still Down album in 1997, even though an explicit take of that song actually appears on that album. And here's a clip of that here.
Just retaliate with hate, then we multiply. See me striking down the block, hitting corners, smiling like I'm psycho, living like I wanna. And ain't no stopping at the red lights. I'm sideways out the window screaming, baby, crown page. Let the cops put their lights on. Race me now, zigzagging through the freeway. Chase me down in a high-speed chase with the law. The realest black brother that you ever saw.
Also, we got a clip of Death Around the Corner, which is a totally different track than what appears on Tupac's 1995 album, Me Against the World. This version has totally different verses than what appears on that album, because apparently these songs were too controversial for release, and the record labels actually thought it was too raw or too offensive to actually release. So they actually made Tupac actually record these lyrics all over again.
My niggas getting tired of the constant harassing. Stay strapped, give a fuck if I'm gonna living life how I wanna. I'm seeing death around each corner.
We also have a clip of Shit Don't Stop, which is a solo version of the track Shit Don't Stop, which appears on the Thug Life album, which Tupac only has one verse on that track. On this version, he actually has 3 verses.
Ready for the concert? Get your ticket, watch a nigga from the gutter get wicked. I hit the stage with a blunt in my mouth, drinking liquor. I'm flipping scripts, Mr. Shit Kicker.
We also have another song called It Ain't Easy, and this may remind you of the song on Me Against the World called It Ain't Easy. However, this is a song with the same name, different lyrics, and a different beat.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy. I be the first to hit the block if it's poppin'. I'm up all night getting my hustle on, nigga, non-stoppin'. Got a baby on the way, I ain't saved a penny. And even if I hustle to my grave, how many more triggers can a nigga pull and still sleep? It ain't easy living on the street.
We also have another track featuring YMV, and this is a track called Don't Leave.
Don't leave, lady, check it. I got no time to waste, baby. Gotta learn to taste every second.
All these tracks are unreleased, dating from the year 1993 to 1994 for Tupac's Thug Life and Me Against the World albums. A lot of these songs appear on many concept albums that Tupac was working on during this time, called Are You Still Down, Stay True, Mr. Middle Finger, Crucified, Thug Style, and many other concept album names that he was actually planning to release during that time period. Now, for the track It Ain't Easy, this song was actually on many of those track lists. However, we did not know there was actually another song with the same name, because Tupac has so many songs with the same name, but they're totally different songs, or he has the same lyrics over different beats. However, it's different recordings and not a remix. It's more like a re-recording. He also has songs with the same beat. However, it's totally different songs than song titles. And then there's instances such as this where Tupac has the same song and he remade the actual vocals over the same track several times. And this is where Nothing to Lose comes into play. In 1997, we actually have Nothing to Lose. However, in 2020, we got 2 new versions, a radio version with clean lyrics, and we also have a demo recording that's a totally different take and has different lyrics by Tupac Shakur, and some of the same lines from the 1997 album version appear also in this version as well. Now for me, it would actually be kind of cool if they release this. They can release a Nothing to Lose EP. They can release this on Me Against the World anniversary version. They can release this on Are You Still Down anniversary version. I think they should release Nothing to Lose radio version as lead single for a new album called Tupac Nothing to Lose, and this will feature 1993 songs and 1994 songs only. And you can also feature Death Around the Corner there as Death Around the Corner Part 2, depending on if that's a solo version or if it's only one verse, that's different. They can actually feature someone else on there. If it's only one verse, that's different. So there's many things they can actually do with these songs. However, it's unclear if there'll be a new Tupac album anytime soon, because like I said, they missed the whole boat with the whole riot situation and Tupac being back on the charts. That would have been perfect time to put a single out, such as Tears of a Clown or New Changes video or a new version of Changes as well. Also in 2020, we got a new vinyl for Tupac Me Against the World, celebrating 25 years since its actual release. However, there's no new songs on there, no unreleased cuts, which is very much a shame because all these songs on this actual album has so many different versions, so many unreleased vocals that never been released before. Also, here's a clip of the other Nothing to Lose that's still unreleased as well.
Gotta get my niggas to die for my riches. And do or die, walk a mile in my shoes, and you be crazy too. Nothing to lose when I came to Cali.
And you'll see there that's a whole different vocal take, a different tone, a different flow, and what appears on the 1997 album, Are You Still Down? Also, Snoop Dogg actually claimed that Tupac is now more relevant than ever in the year 2020 due to the whole riot situation. Here's that clip right here.
Pac often spoke on racial issues. How relevant is his music today?
It's more relevant than ever. And when he spoke it, a lot of people looked at him crazy because he had a militant mind. But what he was saying back then is what's going on right now. Everybody's coming together. They realizing that we need each other and we better together than separate.
In 2020, Drake also revealed 2 new diamond chains honoring the late Tupac Shakur. Commissioned to longtime jeweler Jason of Beverly Hills, the chains feature the head of Tupac Shakur mixed with elements of Jesus. A blue bandana version uses white gold and diamonds, while the red bandana version sees natural yellow diamonds and yellow gold. The thorns, nose rings, tears, and earrings are all iced out. Each medallion was priced at $300,000 United States dollars a piece. Also, Cheryl James shared a never-before-seen Tupac Shakur poem wrote to her entitled For What It's Worth. Penned while he was in prison in 1995, Salt revealed to Rock the Bells that she and Tupac kept in touch while he was incarcerated to help keep his spirits up. For What It's Worth sees late rapper speak on his upbringing in New York City, surviving the 5 gunshot wounds that he received just a year prior and staying strong during rough times. And the poem reads, For what it's worth, I am not much for petty words and such, cause these days my pain is deep, but there's always a pleasure to be found, in times of struggle and grief. If a tree can grow through the New York concrete, then a thug can change his heart. If I can survive 5 deadly shots, we can discover light within the dark. I'm sure you have had times of misery, all of us experience hurt, but only the strong in the spirit survive the wicked world, for all it's worth. Sure went on to say he felt like the whole world was turning against him, and he was unjustly imprisoned. I told him that he could turn away from negativity and turn away from sin. Also, Tupac's Lowrider from the classic song and music video To Live and Die in LA actually resurfaced. This video featured a yellow 1961 Impala. A man by the name of Long Beach Lloyd purchased the car in January 2020, has been fixing it up ever since. He went on to say it's been in battle. When he got the car, all the gears were frozen. I ended up switching the whole transmission. The Chevy Impala Lowrider also got extensive work from Kool-Aid Hydraulics, with the full high-end treatment including 8 batteries, 2 hydraulic pumps, polished chrome suspension, matching yellow bushings, and more. According to Lloyd, the car was originally stock under the skin, sitting low in the Tupac video thanks to sandbags in the back. Alright guys, so that's it for today. That's it for Tupac year 2020 in review. Don't worry, 2021 we're going to see more new Tupac songs come out, more news on his docuseries with Alan Hughes, and more stories about his life. We see that every year. So be sure to check out my individual videos that I mentioned in this actual video here. Be sure to check me out on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me there, helps me support my channels and keep my channels growing. Also, you can check out my podcast on Anchor.fm, Spotify, under the Tupac Music Podcast and Scandalous Talk. Alright guys, it's been your boy DJ Skandalous, your favorite DJ's favorite DJ, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. We out. Deuces.